about 9, I learned about evolution. And even though I was brought up in this Puritan household, it made sense immediately. I could see that it could work, and I saw that it made a bit more sense of the things that I already knew. So the ordering of animals, for instance, or the experience of having related feelings and the pseudo-cognition of animals made more sense now. So, and then I learned about fossils, and that was the clincher that determined it more or less for me. Which was a problem, because Christianity, at least when you think about Puritan explanation-driven Christianity, teaches that God created the animals. So, okay, you learn from more liberal Christians that, oh no, there's nothing contradictory with this. God could have determined which way evolution went and so forth. But there's no need for God in this scenario, at least not for explaining the diversity of life. I started off in childhood with this picture of God and the acts of God giving the great diversity of life, and then of course still God. And now I have to replace this with God plus evolution equals the great diversity of life and God. And you kind of start to ask yourself, can't I just cross over God on both sides of the equation here? I know this isn't a real algebraic equation, but it is a mental picture, and I kind of had that mental picture. Okay, that's one explanation down, but wasn't there more? How about the world itself, for instance? That never seemed satisfactory. Because what explains God then? And you learn, oh, God explains God. Really? I mean, whenever have you seen something that just explains itself? Supposedly God could do this, but where's the evidence? Where's even the sense in that? Kind of secretly, I thought about the model of God having a parent, and that parent having a parent, and this solving the problem. But that just pushes back the ignorance. It doesn't explain anything really. So anyway, I had come to the point where I thought it was best to try to question things. Were there really angels and devils, for instance? Where are they? I mean, they're supposed to be invisible, so what do they explain then? What about the grayness of life? I mean, you don't have completely good or completely evil people. And still you are supposed to believe that somebody gets to heaven and somebody gets to hell, and there's nothing in between. And to top this off, it's based on belief. What's the merit of that? Then there is, of course, the question of what is sufficient belief. Do I still believe sufficiently to go to heaven? Or have I reached a point where my belief is so low that I may go to hell now? Then, well, since I had started doubting now, and I feared hell, the whole Pascal's nature thing going on inside me, on my mind. I started listening more closely to what Christianity teachers told me. Now, the unfortunate thing, at least from a Christianity perspective, was that the year I started doubting, I had this really puritan Christianity teacher who only made us memorize passages of the Bible and Martin Luther's explanation for these passages, which was even less understandable than the passages themselves. And the more I learned, the less sense it made, really. But it was completely impossible to raise a critical question about Christianity in that setting. When I got to the next class, next term, I tried to question, and the answers were very dismissive. It's just, this is how it is. Take it or leave it, more or less. What they taught me was that being a Christian was something that should change your life. You should be born again. You should have this enormous shattering experience where your life changes lane completely. And I had been Christian, I would say, for all my life, or as long as I understood anything. And I hadn't had that experience. So I tried to pray overtime, tried to really vary it and say all the things that the Christianity teachers told us good, and I surrender myself, and so forth. And pray to all parts of the Trinity, and kind of expected that experience. Didn't come, of course. And then I tried listening even harder. I tried to do as some born-again Christians said. They kind of had these experiences where they were doubting, and then they opened the Bible, and the first Bible verse would tell them exactly what they wanted, and it would turn around their lives. So I tried it. I tried opening the book at random, and all I got was this begat that, and this ancient Hebrew owed 30 shekels to that ancient Hebrew. And it didn't say anything. Nothing. Except it created more trouble when I started to look up the Genesis. There's this passage that kind of made me doubt even more. It's a simple thing. You have Adam and Eve, and then you've got Cain and Abel. And Cain kills Abel, and then he's made to leave his parents and settle down in a faraway land and marry a heathen woman. So where did she come from then? I mean, doesn't that need an explanation? Apparently the authors of the Bible didn't think this. Apparently heathen women can just pop out of nothingness without explanation. They're so common. I wish